Hi, everyone. This is Jacqui Cooper with JCooperTravels Talk Show, and I want to welcome everyone back today to this episode. I have a guest on today that I've already had a conversation before, so definitely go into the feed and listen to our initial conversation that I had with Robert about what he does. Today is a follow-up episode, and there's going to be another one as well, and we're going to have more than one story, I'm sure. So I want to make sure that everyone understands a little bit more about what JCooperTravels is before I introduce Robert. JCooperTravels started because of my love for travel around the world, but as everyone knows, with COVID, we sort of, had to rethink things. And I realized that we travel always in different ways, different paths. And so JCooperTravels became more about how do we travel in life and how do we support each other. So it's all about stories of people and their careers and what they're doing. So that way we can journey around, locally, globally, and help and support each other. So Robert is an individual that I connected with on different social media platforms, and he's dedicated his life to actually helping others. And he came into his current career path because of situations that happened within his own life. I'm going to have Robert introduce himself as well as the name of his business and also the website. For those that might not have paper and pen, don't worry, just come back to this episode. We're going to be mentioning the website. So if you need him, you can definitely reach out and access him. Just, feel free to come back to JCooperTravels and you'll be able to always find the contact there. So Robert, welcome back. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? And again, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, sure. I think what you're doing is really important because a lot of us have different scenarios that happen to us in weather-related situations. And I'm going to let you describe more about what you do. And we don't always know who to turn to. So why don't you, for those that might not have listened to our first episode, why don't you give like a summary of what you're doing and who you are and your website for sure.
Sure. My name is Robert Bura. My website is Linktree. That's LINKTR period EE / my last name, my name, Robert Bura, ROBERTBURA. That's Linktree, LINKTR.EE / Robert BURA. I'm what's called a public adjuster. I am licensed by the Banking Insurance Commission of the multiple states that I operate in throughout the country to be a public advocate, to teach and educate people about the truth about how property insurance works, teach you all the dirty little secrets the insurance companies don't want you to know about, and help you maximize your benefits on your insurance. It is a policy to get your property whole, but the insurance companies have no obligations to do that. And there's multiple levels of conflicts of interest with the insurance company and the insurance company adjuster that comes out to your house. We are a free service provided by the state. Our service, you are not allowed to give me anything other than a cup of coffee. We get a professional services fee, not a commission. A lawyer, a doctor, an accountant doesn't get a commission. We get professional service fee only when we get you money, which ranges about 300 to 600% more than you would get on your own. And we get you control the money, meaning we get you the money up front versus the insurance company, the leaking faucet version, drip, 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 the pennies down to you. And that's basically what we do.
So I know that we went into detail in our last episode, about the reasons why and how you really help your clients. Today, what is our focus going to be today?
So the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that 90% of the people out there who own property have issues with their properties and don't know or can't afford to get them fixed properly. And what we do is we find you that money. So if you had somebody you knew that owed you thousands of dollars, you want that money back. Well, the insurance companies in a lot of cases owe people a lot of money, but they don't tell people about that. So I sit down with people for about 20, 25 minutes. I will teach them all the dirty little secrets, to do this over Zoom or in person, all the dirty little secrets the insurance companies don't want you to know. Misconception, I almost said the wrong word. Misconception number one, I don't want to put a claim in because my rates are going to go up. Auto and home work totally different. With homeowners insurance, one claim, especially if it's related to weather, should not get your rates to increase. But insurance companies raise people's rates all the time because they get away with it, because people don't understand how insurance works. In fact, your insurance policy is based on actuary tables. So for those people who don't know what an actuary table is, it's a large sampling, whether it's a zip code, an area coded state. That's whatever you have, health insurance, car insurance, auto insurance, whatever, it's all based on a larger sampling. So your rates are based on this actuary table with the expectations of 1 to 3 claims every 5 years. So in fact, you may be able to have as many potentially as 3 claims every 5 years. So I got into this business, I think I explained that in the first one, but real briefly, those people who didn't hear, I had a tree fall in my house after 18 years. I got about 18 grand. I found out 2 years later I was entitled to $30,000 to $40,000 before it was too late. But right away, my rates went up significantly. My insurance agent, my neighbor told me, of course your rate's going to go up. We gave you all that money for that tree falling on the house. You got to pay it back somehow. We're not a non-for-profit. Short version of that story is 2 years later, less than 2 years later, I learned about public adjusting. And I got my insurance company to write me a letter of apology for a bookkeeping error, restoring my rates back to where they were previous to the loss, and as importantly, refunding me over $2,000 in overages because I knew what the truth is. So most people, I said, have damage staring them straight in the face. People don't know, well, how little, one chip, one nick, one crack, they have no idea what is insurable. If you overwater your plants, you got a ring in the wall on the floor there. Anything accidental, anything sudden and accidental and is not excluded in your policy and happens within a reasonable period of time, which would be a whole other conversation, what that definitely means, has the potential to be insurable loss. Anytime water enters your home from above the ground, it has the potential to be an insurable loss. Unlike auto, traffic, when you go to traffic court because you went off, Your Honor, I really thought it was 55 mile an hour. I didn't realize it was 20 mile an hour zone, right? Ignorance is no excuse of the law. Stupidity, accidents are insurable losses. So if you cause something by accident, you punch a hole in the wall, you scratch something because you're moving it, those all have the potential to be insurable losses. I teach all that. But the other part, as important, long-term, is after I go through that presentation, I look at someone's policies. 90% of people's policies are incorrect. They contain gaps between hundreds of thousands of dollars. For those of you who are watching online today, you'll see a tree behind me. That is somebody who came to me. Turns out they had a $16,000 deductible for wind damage. Had no idea it was there. Their discount was $60 a year. Horrific. We see this all the time. Whether or not you have, we look at different codes. Do you have water backup? Do you have codes and ordinances? Do you have protection for the pipes that carry your water and your sewer from your town? I'll go through all of that. Is your insurance property amount correct? What is the correct amount? Well, the correct amount is what it would take to potentially rebuild your house if it's a loss. In New Jersey, it's $150, $200. You go down south, it goes down to $100 to $150. You go to a fancy neighborhood, it goes more. Your house is insured for $500,000. It's $500,000, but your liability is only $100,000. You have $400,000 lying around if anybody sues you. The purpose of the insurance policy is to get your house back to pre-loss condition. For most people, their property is their largest asset. The insurance company has no insurable interest. Matter of fact, the insurance agent who comes to you to adjust the claim, who works for the insurance company, gets incentivized based on how little he can get away, which on average is only 18 to 22 cents on the dollar, and how many times he can get claims denied. If that's not a conflict of interest, I'm not sure what is. So we'll teach you about all this. We'll take a look at your policies. And I'm not selling insurance. I told you I don't sell anything, so that you can go back to your insurance agent, or if you're using somebody that advertises on TV, one of the big guys that is spending billions of dollars in advertising, who the agent you deal with, responsibility is not to you, the client, but to the stockholders. Always recommend with homeowners insurance, I'll only deal with homeowners, that you go out and you find an independent insurance adjuster, independent insurance agent, whose job it is, whose fiduciary responsibility is to you, to shop your policy out and to go find you better policy, better coverage, and usually at a lower rate. I had one of my trainees last month just do that, and they just saved like $1,600. When I did it a couple of years ago, I saved almost $2,500 the first year for better coverage. Now, I can also potentially recommend to you, based on where you are, some agents that I know would do a good job. And you could take a look at that, or just go to your Better Business Bureau, go to your local chamber of commerce, go to your Rotary Club, and ask if there is an independent insurance agent in there. I have a very good relationship with them, and I have several that actually give me a decent percent of my claims are from people who they're working with who are not happy with what the insurance company is doing. Just because they wrote the policy for that company doesn't mean they have any authority on servicing the claim. That's one of the biggest misconceptions you'll hear from, we'll call them company X. I won't pick out one company, one large company, where it has this company either uses an individual or a character for their mascot. It doesn't matter, okay? These guys will tell you, if you ever have an accident, you come to me and I'll help you. I'll make sure you get taken care of. Well, your sales department and your service department of the insurance company are two different business entities, two different profit centers. Number one, the adjuster side of the company doesn't want the insurance company, the insurance salesperson, to get involved, because number one, they know what to say, or rather they know what not to say. And number two, they have no authority. So when you're dealing with your insurance company, oh, by the way, 65% of all phone calls to the insurance company result in denied claims. That's why we tell you never to call your insurance company. Always call a public adjuster first, because if you're calling them with anything other than making a change to your policy, they will most likely consider that a claim. It's called a non-payout claim, and that will count towards one of your 3 claims every 5 years. So here's a perfect example. Hi, Mr. Insurance Company. My water heater just burst and my basement's flooded. Well, Miss Client, I'm really sorry that happened to you. Is everybody okay? Because our most important interest is in you and your family and your safety. Yes, everybody's okay. What happened? Well, my water heater burst and my basement's flooded. I don't know what to do. Well, I'm really sorry to hear that, and I'm glad everybody's okay. However, I need to inform you that your claim is denied. What do you mean my claim is? You're going to be there for me. Well, your water heater is an appliance technically, and it's not covered under your homeowner's policy. And you just told me you had a flood, and I'm here to help you with your homeowner's insurance, not your flood insurance. So you can't help me? I'm sorry. You guys get the idea. I will go to the insurance company. We'll go to the insurance company and explain to the insurance company that my clients had an accidental discharge of water from an enclosed pipe that was connected to the water heater. The result was the following damages. See the difference? We know how to talk insurance. One wrong phrase, one wrong word.
So
now,
let me ask you a quick question. How are you compensated though for your service and time? I know at one point
our company receives a percentage of the claim, and we only get paid once there is a settlement. There's a wide range of the claim. I'm not going to go into the percentages here. because then people will just tend to hear numbers without.
No,
further
I mean, I love what you're doing. I get, but I want people
So
just.
that's what we do. We get a percentage once the claim is settled. If there's no settlement, we don't take the claim on. The other part of that is we handle both origination of claims and reopening. So 1 year from the origination of the claim, without a claim being put in, or the origination, we can come in. 1 year from a bad settlement, or 1 year from a decline or denial, or 2 years on a fire. A large percent of our business is based on reopening up claims, because I mentioned to you, on average, you're only going to get 18 to 22 cents. If you have a problem with water and you have a couple of pieces of your nice hardwood flooring that gets damaged, the insurance company is going to give you a couple dollars to throw a rug over it for an appearance allowance. No, well, if that hardwood floor runs in the same direction throughout the whole floor of the house, we're going to get you the money to get that damage repaired. And if that damage can't get repaired without going down to the nail, then it's going to be all replaced, or have everything refinished. I don't fix, I don't repair, I don't upgrade, I don't match, I don't make like new. We help you to get your property back to pre-loss condition. That is the goal. That is the intent. Your contract is an indemnity policy to get your property back to pre-loss condition. And
the reason why I want to interrupt you is because I think everyone, you need to think about the fact that if you try to do this on your own and you get denied, that's zero claims being paid. Reusing Robert and a service like his means that you have an advocate on your side. And that's really important to be thinking about, because yes, you can do it yourself, but however, if you get it denied, then you don't get any reimbursement. So you know, 0 out of 0. So, you know, again, I always think that if you can have a professional work with you on your team, it's so important to have someone looking out for you, because also when we're involved in a crisis situation, we're emotional. So we might not be thinking, like Robert said, about the phrase and how, you know, what, and also who remembers what's in our policy. So that's the type of thing that, you know, it's really important.
Who knows how to read the policy?
Well, that, and, you know, again, from the reading of the policy, one of the things that I would recommend for people to look at is a link that I'll be sharing below, and that's Legal Shield. Because again, having an attorney on your side for a flat rate every month, you can shoot that policy over to them. You have unlimited amount of times that they'll review and advise you on what you're signing. Because again, we don't always think about what we're signing until we actually think we need it. And then we realize that it didn't cover us for what we needed. And that is where the challenge comes. So that's why I wanted to have Robert back on to explain a little bit more about what he's doing, because I think this is really critical. All of us have things that happen to our home, you know. So Robert, tell us more about what you're doing.
So I just had a brain moment.
That's
the
okay.
other thing I wanted to mention, the other thing I wanted to mention is all the other public adjusters out there are what we call version 1.0. These are individuals, mom and pops, or work in regions or storm chasers. They only go after large catastrophic losses. They do everything from finding the claims to adjusting the claims to dealing with the insurance company, dealing with the mortgage company, dealing with the client, dealing with whatever has to be done. They're only going after, you know, 40, 50, 100 plus $1,000s claims. Our company is what we call version 2.0. I've already explained to you the policy review that we do. Nobody else does that. We are the only nationwide public adjusting company in the company, the truly nationwide public adjusting company in the country. We will write any claim as long as it makes financial sense. If you get an example is, if you got $1,000 deductible, I'm not going to write a claim for $500 or $1,000. It's got to be 2 to 4 times the amount of the deductible for it to make financial sense. I also do those large. I am currently licensed in 5 states. I've written claims in other states. I'm training other people, which is our next, or our third one we're going to do. I'll talk about that. But if you're in reach of my voice and you live in the United States, I can help you. please reach out to me. Everything I said, the policy reviews are free, and unless we get you any money. Now, other thing is, when we get involved in a claim, let's say a first-time claim, an origination claim, when you agree to have us represent you, all you're agreeing to is having me to get my field adjuster out to your location. At that point, the insurance company is only notified that we represent you, not that there's a claim, but that we represent you. Then upon investigation, scoping in my field adjuster, which in a lot of cases can be a free home inspection, we will then, unless you tell us otherwise, go forward, represent you with the claim. If there's no claim, the agreement goes away, and the insurance company is never notified. Once you agree to have us represent you, the only thing we want you to say to the insurance company if they contact you, because there are several states around the country where the insurance companies will do unscrupulous things, like they'll show up at the door once when they're notified. Oh, I'm here to inspect the claim. Well, how do you know there's a claim? Stuff like that. All you say to them is, I am represented, or I've retained a public adjuster. Please speak to them politely, and that's it. We are your legal representation. It's an agreement when you sign that homeowner's policy, but when you go to enforce it, it is a contract. We are practicing a very small niche of contract law in the policy. My adjusters have on average 20 years of experience, and based on where you are in the country, know a lot of these guys, and we do a lot of the work for them. It's easier for them in some cases to agree to a scope of 15,000 or 20,000 than what they have to do to fight and the time they have to do. We use the same software. It's called Xactimate, as the insurance companies do, which is based on your zip code. And there are people who have switched sides of the fence, who work for the insurance company, now working for us, things like that. Building inspectors. Well, again, we'll go into that in our third installment.
So anything else that you would like to share? Because I do think that what you're doing is really important. Why don't you go ahead and share your phone number and way people can contact you?
Oh, I didn't give my phone number out for those listening. So it's Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T, Bura. B as in boy, U as in uncle, R as in rabbit, A as in apple. Robert Bura. You can reach me at 973-270-4044. 973-270-4044. I hate people who give their phone number and speed up, so you have to listen to the answer machine multiple times. So it's R as in Robert, my last name, B as in boy, U as in uncle, A as in rabbit, A as in apple, R Bura at MetroPA, METROPA.com, and Linktree, linktr.ee/ my name, Robert Bura. From there, you can schedule time with me. You can watch information about how insurance works. And if you want to do this yourself, I'm recruiting people. Again, we'll talk about that in the last one, or any reason that you need to get hold of me. Thank you again for inviting me. I'm looking forward to our third and final installment. And that's it. I'm done.
Thank you so much, Robert. We appreciate what you're doing, and everyone definitely hop on to the next episode. Like and subscribe to Cooper Travels. We have a lot of wonderful stories that are going to be shared shortly, both from the career path side as well as from where we're traveling around the world. So thank you so much and have a great day.